Hey guys, Troubletcat here, recording for the Zombie Arcade, and today we're looking at our last AN-94 loadout. This is a more aggressive loadout. Tomorrow we're moving on to the G3A3, and what I'm using on this setup is a red dot sight, a foregrip, and a laser sight. I changed to the holographic sight halfway through this game. Either of those is going to work great. They're both good, close-range sights. It all depends on which reticle you're going to end up preferring. I prefer the reticle and the holographic sight for the Russian sights, but it looks really weird on this gun when you shove the holo sight on there, so I use the red dot sight. A lot of times for that reason. Always important to think of that. I let this video run a bit longer than I normally do. I didn't get a huge number of kills in this, but I have a few other things to talk about regarding sort of general playstyle when on the attacking team in Rush, and how you can sort of make things work if you're maybe not the most amazing, sort of fastest, highest reflexes, best accuracy kind of player in the world. I mean, I'm pretty good on that front, but I find myself hanging back a lot more, especially when I'm playing by myself, and especially when I'm using a gun that I'm not 100% confident with. You know, if I'm using something like the F2000 or the AEK or even the M16 or the AK-74, I play significantly more aggressively oftentimes than you'll see me do in this game, just because this is not a weapon that I'm super comfortable with. So you see a lot of me sort of moving up behind with my team and supporting them with medkits and revives. I do actually arm a bomb at one point, but it's only after my team is sort of really pushed up into the area. And I just want to let those of you know who are maybe not so super comfortable with FPSs, that's actually a great way to play this game. It's really, you know, you're not going to get a huge number of kills and points yourself. Well, you might get a lot of points if you're really good with your revives and medkits. But it's phenomenally helpful to your team to just sort of be there up near the front. Do you see that? That guy, I gotta throw that nade, and that dude sort of pops up right in front of me. He actually does a little jump just to catch the nade with his face as I go to throw it. Doesn't explode. I think he ate it. He was hungry or something. He had to sort of jump up and nom my nad. That sounded kind of wrong. Dude's nomming my nads. So yeah, but that's actually that's a phenomenally helpful way to play the game for your team, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You do want to be careful about hanging back too far. If you're too far back to effectively support your guys with medkits and revives, and if you're not able to engage the enemy at all with your rifle, then you're probably too far back and you want to move up, and that's a slot that's a problem that trap that a lot of recon flares. Recon flares? I'd love to flay me some recon players. Fuck those guys! No, that's a trap that a lot of recon players fall into, is the trap of being too far back to effectively support your team. Obviously, as recon, you're focusing on long-range stuff if you're using a sniper rifle, but you don't want to be so far back that you're not actually supporting your team very effectively. You want to be putting pressure on the enemy at all times. And what I wanted to say partly with this video is, you can do that without being the Russianest guy in the world, and without putting yourself way up the front, and you can do that without having the best accuracy and the super elitist reflexes. It's not bad at all to let your teammates go first sometimes, if you're not quite confident to do it yourself. You can see here us pushing up on A. This is always. This map in Rush is kind of interesting. The first few phases for attackers. The first phase for attackers is really easy. You just want to rush as fast as possible onto those first two objectives like you saw us do. You just kind of want to spawn and then sprint straight to those points, see if you can get there before the defenders, because the attackers and defenders spawn about the same distance away from those bomb sites on the first phase. This second phase, what I almost always like to do, and what you're seeing me do here, is... My sound is slightly out of sync. Motherfucker, I thought I fixed that shit! Sorry, is you want to push up the left-hand flank and go for alpha first, is almost always the best strategy as attackers on this phase, and then you can sort of surround Bravo. You don't want to do, the last thing you ever want to do on this map is walk up that main alleyway in front of B. That is just absolutely a terrible idea. It is so easy to walk that down. It's such a brutal choke point. But this is always a really good angle to hit them from, and it's a popular angle of attack as well. You know, most teams that are successful on this map seem to hit from this flank like this. But for some reason, a lot of defending teams never seem to expect it. They did have a few guys here, as you saw, but really not enough. And I think it's because most people want to sort of go to the front and get their kills in, holding off the brunt of the attack. But if you can slip through, you often find there's not much resistance. A tiny bit too slow there was I to stop them defusing that bomb. I tried. I tried so hard, but I did not success. This is where I switch to the hollow side, and I want to talk about something coming in just a second here. One of the things I don't like about this gun, one of the ways this gun can really fuck you in a most unfortunate fashion, is what you're about to see here. Not the part where I revive the dude. That's good. That's fine. We're all comfortable with reviving people. We're happy about that. No, what I want to talk about was what you're about to see right as I walk around this corner and... Okay, see the dude, and I fire 2 bullets. No, I'm dead. What happened there was, I should have had that kill really, really easy. He killed me with a handgun shot to the chest. But, what happened there, the problem that I encountered was... basically that the gun was set to 2-shot burst, not full auto, when I expected to be in full auto. And that's because this gun defaults to that 2-shot burst mode, which is, quite frankly, rubbish. And I don't know why they've done that. Every other weapon in the game, every single other gun in the game, defaults to its fastest mode of fire. So if it's only got burst and semi, it defaults to burst. If it's got full auto, it starts on full. I mean, you don't spawn with an AK-74 and it's set to single fire right out the gate. And you sort of expect the same thing with this gun. So sometimes you spawn and you forget to change your fire mode to full auto, and you just get fucked. And that's always annoying. It's something that just kind of irks me about this gun, that they chose to do it that way for whatever reason. I don't quite know why they chose that. I mean, I guess it's because in theory the sort of 2-shot burst mode is the main fire mode of this gun in real life. It's sort of the thing that's sort of unique and special about this weapon. But in the game, they haven't even portrayed what that's like in real life accurately. So I don't know. They should have just kept with their formula of making the fastest rate of fire the default. I think it would have saved me some heartache. I've died to that a fair few times. I think the 2-shot burst on this gun has gotten me killed a fair few times because I expected to be on full auto. It's not cool. It's not cool. Use first aid, man. Of course, there was a dead dude back there. I can't revive this guy at first because his teammate is so determined to sit on his face and tell him that he loves him. But ultimately, he does move, and I managed to get the revive. That's good. This was a nice game. I liked this one. You know, as I said, I didn't get a super huge number of kills, but it was sort of a cool one. My team was working together, making good, solid push that I contributed to. I contributed to my team's success and victory. I mean, I was in a squad with one dude who led our team, who was charging in and getting a shit ton of kills, and he's running the engineer kit. And the engineer kit is actually really good for that sort of aggressive mindset. It's kind of funny. Assault is sort of more, you want to be sort of in the midfield of your team with support. Engineers are often on infantry maps, the dudes who take to the front, because they've got those carbines that are really, really effective close up. Fast rates of fire, good damage, and good hipfire accuracy. So, funnily enough, a lot of times, Assault, you don't actually want to be at the very front. You sort of want to let the engineers go first a lot of times. I mean, it depends on how the engineers are playing, obviously. They can play more as a support class, repairing vehicles, using their rockets to take out snipers and stuff like that, putting down AT mines. But on these infantry maps where the enemy doesn't actually have any vehicles, it's often really good to let the engineers sort of lead the charge, and Assault follows up. Supports with their slightly longer range weapon loadouts, which is, again, partly what I'm doing here. I don't know why that's outside the combat zone there. Oh yeah, you can get in that little building, but if you go too far back, you're a fucking deserter and you'll be murdered for your crimes against the USMC. I don't know, guys. Sometimes the combat zones on this map are kind of weird. You know, it's like, I'm not out the combat zone, I'm engaging them. Nah, you're a deserter and must be shot. But I went over here so I could kill. No, deserter. I don't even know. It's not cool. It's not cool. I think I cut out a pretty big portion here after I die in a second, where I was shooting it out with snipers and stuff, and not actually killing anybody, but suppressing dudes. Suppressing so many dudes. Seems like the AN-94 has pretty effective suppression. Now that really makes up for anything else. I guess it would probably be the same as the AK-74M, actually, considering it's using the same round, and most of the characteristics of weapon damage and stuff like this are dependent on the caliber of the bullet fired by the weapon, so this probably has a lot of the same ballistics as the AK-74M does in this game. Then I'm looking forward to being done with this gun and rocking the G3A3. Not that the G3A3 is I don't know what I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have plenty of time to talk about that soon, but it's solid, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. It's kind of tough to use, but I like it a lot more than this gun at least. It's here. Oh, he done had a bad day. It sounds really out of sync. I don't know. I'm gonna see if there's anything I can do to fix that before this upload happens. So maybe my sound won't actually be out of sync in the video you guys see. That'd be super cool. Because I'm not sure. I don't like that shouldn't happen with these settings. It didn't happen in the last video, which I recorded with the exact same settings. So maybe it is something that I have done funnily in editing, as one viewer suggested. Need to live, Billy. That I didn't do last time? I don't know, I'm not sure. Although it's true, when I was recording down at lower resolution, everything was absolutely fine. Anyway, I'll try and sort that out before this video goes up. And I found a great spot here for covering Bravo that I never knew about. I really love pushing up the left there to get Alpha on this last phase of this map as attackers, and I didn't know about this until today. I just discovered this spot where you run along here on the left, and there's this building you can get up into where you can cover Bravo really effectively. And that's good, because I always felt like after I get to Alpha, you're kind of fucked. You want to cross the street and get on Bravo, but it's really, really dangerous crossing that street. The enemies spawn right there. However, if you go to this spot, you don't need to cross the street, and I mean, you can't arm the bomb, but you can cover Bravo very effectively, so that's good and all. As always, I'm going to let you guys see my stats for those of you who are interested. You can see there, one of the dudes in my squad went 27 for 7. He was an engineer up at the front, but I only had about 700 less points than him, even though I only had 11 kills. Because of all my medkits and my revives, and the fact that I armed a couple bombs, it's never a bad way to play. So, thanks for watching, guys. As always, let me know what you thought of the video. Troubletcat out.